How's that going?
Good. Hey, Racky. How's it going? Thanks for the raid so much. I appreciate that. We are just getting started. Updating Sirenscape as usual. Before we have some adventures along the coast near Icewind Dale. I understand that. I'm pretty beat myself, buddy. I'm pretty beat myself. There we go. Let's see about Thank you so much, Swive, for the bits. I'm sure the gods will roll in someone's favor tonight. Here's hoping it's yours. Okay, so I see Valra got connected, Hunter got connected.
And installing.
Shadow, why don't you roll a D100 for us?
Alright. How do you do the easy way without rolling so many of the...
You right click the D10 and there's a percentage button and then you click that. Almost 100.
Almost.
I don't know if 100 would be better or not, though.
I don't ask a question if you roll 100 or a 1. We just move along for the evening.
Well, that's no fun.
I trust nothing.
Don't ever trust me. Currency command. Oh, let me
Close.
get the
Rolled at
bot
97.
going. Thanks for the reminder. Let's get that trucking along.
And maybe that's a sign I'll have good rolls tonight, though.
Here's hoping, right? Alright. I wish I knew how to just give you some. You gotta watch for a bit. Hopefully you've been like AFKing in my channel. We'll see in a sec. As soon as this thing gets started up. Of course it wants to update. Everything's gotta update. Give it a minute. We've got time while we're getting everybody situated. Okay, the 4 of you are connected now, it looks like. Welcome, Viz.
Hello.
Sirenscape updated, so if you want to reinstall that, it should connect fairly easily. We're all getting that sorted right now. I put the alias, which you're connected, and then the links to both of them in the chat there. Thank you for the 2-month sub, Void. I appreciate that so much. You guys are the reason why I come here and do this. Let's see. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Sounds like I'm
and then you can do...
this music.
I like it. I find it very soothing myself before a session. So, Racky, if you can look up the command for me to give you some creds, I'll give you enough to do some things.
Is there supposed to be something playing on Sirenscape? Because they updated it and it's not playing anything.
I haven't restarted it yet.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that's what he was referring to. Yeah.
It's just our regular music, so just picture that in your head.
There you
Oh,
go.
there we go. Now I hear it.
All right.
Which link am I supposed to click on for this?
So click the second link, the one that just goes to online. That'll give you the thing you want to download and install. So this next question, the question of the evening, which I'm going to let you guys think about this while we finish getting everybody sorted in Sirenscape. I want to ask you guys this question, and it's interesting, and I want to know the answer both in character and out of character in regards to the world that we play in. And the question is, what bores you? We'll just turn that voice activated guy down. I need to set that to force push to talk, don't I? I do.
Alright, I did that. It launched Sirenscape. I'm not hearing anything now.
Okay, hold on.
Ah, sweet comforting funeral home.
Looks like they have
Wait,
phone
y'all still
apps.
hear music?
Yeah, I hear it.
I don't.
I don't either.
Well, now it just faded away.
Yeah,
Okay.
Now it's coming back.
I still got nothing.
yeah, it seems like it's giving me some weirdness here too. While I fiddle around with that, Miss Song, what bores you?
Well, let's see. I mean, in character, I'd say in character, like Miss Song isn't really interested in like doing stuff just like for cash or whatever. So like just doing stuff for the sake of some cash reward or whatever, like that doesn't interest him, and it bores him. Like he'll go along with it if the party has to, but it's not really his style. Out of character though.
Maybe a better out of character answer to narrow that question down would be the opposite.
Okay.
What interests you more, combat or RP?
It's tricky to answer because there's things about both that I like and things about both that I don't. Like they're fairly equal in my book. I mean, I like combat for the interesting shenanigans. Just like figuring out ways to get out of shit using the stuff that we have. Like that's always fun. It's kind of a puzzle of sorts. And I mean, like, and this wasn't mentioned, but like I do like puzzles. We don't do very many puzzles. That'd be cool. But in a way, combat is our puzzle at the moment, since all of our combats seem to be terribly deadly. And then the RP, like I like the RP. Like it's really cool to like get in character and stuff. But like for most people, it's still like a little awkward. Like it's not so much that I don't like it; it's just still it's still awkward sometimes to RP, as it is for a lot of people. But that's more of something that you just get used to over time. I mean, the longer that I've done D&D stuff, it's definitely got easier to do. So that's getting there. But yeah, I guess overall, I'd say I probably like RP more.
Okay. Thank you. Ander? What bores Ander?
Well, spending too much time in a city bores Ander. He's much more happy traveling along the road where he can go off and do, ranger stuff and get wild carrots and that sort of stuff. Now, as for out of character, love combat. The roleplay stuff is hit and miss. Sometimes it engages me, sometimes it doesn't. So, I don't know what to say there, other than hit and miss.
Cool. Thank you. Valra, how about you?
Valra hates small talk. It bores her. She thinks conversation should have a purpose or some substance. She doesn't want a bunch of things that don't matter. She wants something that actually educates her or gives her an answer. And then, which is actually in real life something that bores me as well. As far as combat versus RP, I like both of them, but I think for me RP is more interesting, especially with the character I have. Kind of allows me to step out of my comfort zone and do some
There's
fun
going to be a
things
fun
and
combat, but it'll be
have those
they have
conversations that
to.
Valra
It'll be a
likes to
couple
have.
days after they're in town.
Combat kind of, I don't always know what to
I'm
do.
gonna build this on the fly.
And so I kind of shrink back a little bit, whereas when we're just talking and traveling, I feel like I do okay at that, so I like that better.
All right, I like that. Daphne.
So what bores Daphne is reading. Daphne hates reading. The elders always would stick her in her room and insist that she had to read all the lore and the histories of their people because her mom was a shaman, but she thought it was really boring and she would rather have been outside picking flowers. And I didn't catch what the second question is, whether we prefer combat or role.
Yeah, what interests you more, combat or roleplay as a player?
Love combat. It's really fun, especially when it's like varied. Like the enemies and stuff are interesting. Roleplay's probably my favorite because that's what I like think about after.
Okay. Hunter.
Hunter doesn't get bored. It's kind of just like a racial thing. They can just sit there and let moss grow on them. They do, like, Hunter does like to have something to do.
Yes,
but it can just
I
be
agree,
something that's
Raki.
mindless, or
I agree. I'd like to get that more happening.
it doesn't bore them. Also, if you look busy, whoever is in charge cannot go send you somewhere to die.
There you
if
go.
you look busy and important.
And a little
then
more
for
light
me,
in
as
here.
far as Whether I find combat or RP more interesting, I think they're both interesting in different ways. Because you can have RP in combat.
There we go. Agreed. RP in combat can be fun.
Yeah, I never know how it's done though. I know talking is like a free action, but you can't like really talk on somebody else's turn. So is that when you use the chat? Or...
Like, yeah, you could use chat, definitely, to, like, emote or even, like, talk. That would be, completely appropriate and would work great. And then, you can also roleplay the things you're doing, right? You guys see if it hits. You guys see if it kills them or if it just damages them a bit, and so you guys can, if you feel so inclined, I feel free to describe what you're doing. Have at it. If you don't want to, then I'll narrate your turns. That's not a problem. But you can build some more character there if you'd like. That's one way that I see. Shadow. What bores Shadow?
Oh, Shadow gets bored really from standing around talking. He's more about the action
Okay.
and kind of just being on an adventure. He'd rather be doing that than just kind of standing around talking. That's why he's kind of short with his words.
Makes sense.
And then I'm going to say I like combat better.
Okay.
And that's just because I'm still getting used to role-playing. So
It is when you're, especially when you're first getting used to it, it definitely, it's hard to get in character and it feels, awkward. And especially when you're with a new group, it can make things even more difficult to kind of slip into who is Shadow, who is Valra, But hey, let's do just that. Who wants to give us a summary of last session, and we will get going.
Big cats fighting. Ander can sound like a wounded elk.
I forgot about that. That was so funny.
Yeah.
I finally just watched the video tonight.
Yeah, I did. I reran that earlier, so we could catch up. But yeah, you.
Oh no, I meant the elk video.
There is that one too. Yeah, the party kind of finished up some business in Bryn Shander and Icewind Dale overall, and we're heading south towards Fireshear, and then had been ambushed by some starving crag cats, and then we find ourselves, directly after this battle. There's the corpses of 5 different crag cats. Everybody is doing, okay. A couple of you have some nicks, but nobody's hurt too bad. And you guys are about halfway between Hundlestone and Fireshear at this point. It'd be, to get to Fireshear, you still have to, continue traveling at least another 2 days, 2 full days. There's the map. So you got ambushed basically a little bit south of the Iron Trail on 10 Trail heading southwards. I assume you guys just kind of pack up and continue working your way south?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So it's actually a fairly warm day, the second day of travel, and it passes uneventfully. Do you guys do anything when you set up camp? Anybody work on anything? How do you guys pass the time before you guys sleep that evening?
Anders putting some more time into his magic stone thingies.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nature check, Ander. Oh, okay. You were working on the stones, you said? How many different stones? Yep. You had a bunch of stones and a couple gems, right?
Yes.
Okay, how many stones do you have?
Well, let's see. I had like about half of a set of good stones. So I'm probably working on like, I don't know. I probably have like 3 stones on me, and I'm probably just working on one meticulously.
Okay. The one that you work on this time, like, you're working on it and it's looking pretty good, but partway through you notice a flaw in the stone that extends down through it, and you know that this one is wasted.
I'll toss that one away then, and start on another one.
Okay. Hunter, give me a perception check for watch. Do you guys take any precautions beside Hunter just standing there?
How dangerous is the area? I mean,
You just got attacked by 5 starving crag cats yesterday.
Okay. Then I
Giants were
definitely wanna
sieging a
bubble us.
city. What's
If we're
the bubble do?
taking a rest. It is. Weird. Am I thinking?
You do have a thing. It's your... Is it Hearth? Yeah.
Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow.
So tell me, how does this look when you do this Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow business?
I think probably because the way it blocks the light, everything else around us, like outside of this sphere, which is like 30-foot radius, it kind of dims, like heavily dims, so that it's almost impossible to see anything other than maybe close basic shapes and shadows. But the inside it looks normal. If you're looking on it from the outside, it kind of looks almost the opposite, only it doesn't quite register with you. You don't know that it's there.
Okay. Okay. So you guys pass this evening uneventfully, and you make your way to the town of Fireshear. So, Fireshear, you guys have heard about this, and a couple people spoke to you guys about this as you guys, before you left Bryn Shander. long ago, this meteor strike, as far as people can tell, struck this northern section of the trackless sea and sheared off, parts of the coastline, forming the Isle of Arlsberg, and then the town of Fireshear was founded because there was a discovery of some very rich copper and silver veins in the area. You guys are walking down the Ten Trail, and this doesn't seem to be really descending towards the coastline, and you don't really see much of a city until you get fairly close. And there's a couple buildings that are kind of up top, I guess, as you would call it. You see fields around you, and then there's a stable and a small wall, but what is kind of imposing about the town of Fireshear is that it's built into this crack that this meteor has formed in the bedrock that goes down to the water. So there's this gate where the crack starts forming, and that's about all they really need for a hefty defense. As you guys approach, the gate is open, but the six of you see that it's manned by three dwarves, two on either side of it, and then you see two along the top of the portcullis. And as you there's not a lot of traffic to and from. You've seen a couple people come and go, but as you guys get closer to this gate, one of the guards steps forward and challenges you and says, state your business in Fireshear.
Well, we heard there were some training offered for griffins here. We've come seeking information about that.
Griffins, you say? Yeah, that'd be old Deshara. She's got her roost here, just inside the gate. She took place in some caves that her critters seem to like. I don't really like them myself, but yeah, she gives lessons from time to time. Welcome to Fireshear, and he waves you guys in without too much question. But as kind of the bulk of you are passing, the other guard says, "Mind your weapons." You guys make your way in just inside the gate, and you see this sign in front of this building that it kind of has a slanted roof that seems to just go right into the rock, and it's got a griffin above it. I'm not gonna hold their hands through this. They're gonna need to try.
Yeah, that must be the place.
Can we walk up to the griffin?
There's just a sign that has a griffin. There's no actual
Or
griffin.
the sign? Oh, okay. Daphne is disappointed.
Can the party even afford this? Yeah, they can. Most definitely. Be a lot of funds. You guys just kind of mill around outside for a while?
Ah, let's go in.
So as you all step inside, you see standing to either side of the door on the inside two armed guards that don't look to be dressed as city guards. And then there's this kind of scarred, late middle-aged human, and she looks at you six and says, "Hi, how are you doing today?"
Just fine. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Been quite busy as of late. Lots of messengers needing some quick transportation back and forth with the news of the giants attacking. Word has it they've been raiding settlements along the coast.
Really? The coast now? We just put a stop to them up in the 10 town area.
Yeah, I heard of what happened in Brynshender. 'Twas a terrible loss of life there. There's been word Port Last got raided about a fortnight ago. We've seen signs of them off the coast of Fireshear, but nothing yet. We haven't heard word from Marlsburg in a while, though.
Well, we came here to see if we could get training in griffin riding.
I can teach you, but it is intensive. It takes several days to learn how to ride one of these critters right, and I'll put you up and give you a place to stay. You must stay with the animal and bond with it. Uh, and it does cost a little bit of a hefty sum. That'll be 250 gold pieces each. I'm not as young as I used to be. I can't be stingy anymore now that I'm not able to serve in the airborne corps anymore. And you guys hear, like, in the background constantly the sounds of smithies here and there tapping, and these, the guards' leather rustling a little bit. See if they'll take this. That's a hefty sum. Well,
250, huh?
it's a fair price to learn how to fly, don't you think?
I'm sorry, sir. 250 gold pieces.
Correct. Green one.
Oh, thank you.
Like I said, I'm not as young as I used to be. Gold
Out of
is hard to
character.
come by.
Out of character, how much gold is in a platinum?
I guess
Is it
10?
like 100?
10 or
10 or
100,
100?
let's look.
What's SP? Silver?
Silver.
100 silver per gold? Or no?
I think it's 100. Yeah, so... yeah.
How much money does everyone have?
Well, 250 would leave me with about 40.
Definitely cut
But I
into my
haven't
money
spent
a
it
lot.
this far, so
That would leave me.
might be worth.
It would be well worth it, though, to be able to fly a griffin.
I agree, Andrew. I think we should do it. Plus, I
Y'all are
really want to
crazy.
pet one.
$10 gold makes a platinum. I don't know how that breaks down. I don't know. That's a table that's supposed to explain it?
Exchange rate. Or the question was platinum, so one platinum is worth 10 gold.
She shrugs and she says, like I said, I'm not as young as I used to be, so I'm not too good at math. You guys will have to tell me. Don't be lying.
Hang on, I'll out of character. Hang on,
Yeah.
This song goes ahead and pulls out 250 gold and drops it on the table.
So does Valra.
Daphne does too, but she takes a really long time to count. She's not really used to gold concept of money.
Okay. Okay, remove that from your character sheets, Miss Song, Valra, Daphne.
Yep, I already did.
Ander, do you learn Hunter Shadow?
All right, 1 platinum is 10 gold, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we all have various gems that are worth decent amounts too.
Hunter will give money over, out of character, if you guys need help covering. Hunter is most likely willing.
We should all be doing pretty good, shouldn't we? Sobek gave us quite a bit.
Y'all are pretty equal.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much almost equal. You guys have been splitting things fairly equally and haven't been making a ton of purchases that are different.
All right. All right, Andrew will fork over 200 gold and 5 platinum pieces.
Shadow, did you say you're learning or no?
Shadow's going to try to talk her down on the price.
Try and talk me down then, she says.
You can definitely do this for 200.
That's all.
It's more than reasonable. You're able to take care of all of these griffins, and yet you're going to charge us 250 and say, I'm not as young as I once was. And yet you still take care of it.
I have to charge so much because customers are so few and far between. Tabaxi. Roll a diplomacy check for me.
200 would get you by.
Yeah, go ahead and roll diplomacy, and we will see. What is diplomacy? It is a skill. Sorry, persuasion. Charisma.
Yes.
Did not mean to roll with disadvantage. Either way, so she nods and she says, "All right, I suppose I'll give you 50 gold off." Means that it's the rest of you bought in. And she takes 200 gold from you, Shadow. So, Deshara is rather friendly with you after this and leads you into the back part of her business slash roost, which is a network of caves, which are all you could tell they're hand hewn, but they're pretty nice. And then they lead to a large kind of cavernous roost area for these griffins that have individual stables. And then there's a spot where they can launch out over the sea. You guys sleep with these animals and really live with them 24 hours a day for the next 3 days, and it's fairly intense. This training that she does, and eventually, you guys are all proficient at riding these griffins now. When you finish, she then informs you. She says, now that you know how to ride my creatures, you can rent them if you like at a per day cost, or purchase them. But I don't think any of your pockets are deep enough.
Not with your prices. I
Which-
mean,
What's your
It's
cost
fine.
per day?
It depends really on how far you're taking them. Between 5 and 25 gold. They do travel far. Between 70
far
and
to,
100 miles a day.
how far to water shallow?
Water deep.
Yeah, that one.
Aye, water deep. That'd be quite a few days' travel. I've never taken one of my creatures that far south, or rented one to go that far south, but I suppose you could with a decent enough deposit.
Like, just for reference, maybe what kind of deposit you said?
Aye, that would probably be at least a week there, plus however long your business, and then back. So that ties them up for a while. I'd say 10 gold pieces a day on a journey like that.
Each or for the group?
Each.
Okay.
Idle curiosity, how much to purchase the animal?
Aye. 5,000 gold each. More time. More time would have been nice. I just wish I could be flying with the guards of Waterdeep or Neverwinter again. You've
Would you
learned...
like to come with us?
She smiles and she says, "You know, I'd not be able to." And over the past several days, you've learned, like, she's got this one kind of alpha griffin that's like she has a really special bond with and whatnot, but she's got a pretty terrible limp, and she never really talked about what it was from, but she can't ride even as long as some of you guys can at this point, without showing a significant amount of pain.
I want to do a thing. Maybe.
Do it.
Is there maybe some work or task that you need completed that we could do to lower the price of purchasing one of these animals?
She tilts her head and she says, "Well, I suppose nobody's ever taken me seriously on wanting to purchase one of these items. What could I want?" And she thinks for several moments, and then she nods and she says, I have something for you, but it'll take you a while, and it'll keep me from having to pay these boys to do it. They charge me enough as it is." And one of the guards kind of coughs a little bit, and she says, "As you've seen over the past several days, I have some eggs. I could use them delivered to Mirabar for me. I have a customer that purchased several of these eggs. They wish to raise them from young. The problem is you can't fly them. It's something about it. It kills the young inside. You have to take them overland travel, and they have to be kept warm the entire time. You do something like that, and I'd say I could sell you a griffin for 2,000 gold each. Or give me time. If I could turn back time.
What do you mean by time?
Oh,
Like the whole time you've known, like she's kind of always like she's stuck in the past, and she's talked about like fighting the orc hordes and you know, just different battles and whatnot. And what she's taught you guys is mostly like how to fly in formation and military type maneuvers, at least the basics. And she's really just always reminisces about you know, the glory days when she was a captain.
Well, should we deliver some eggs?
Well, Mirabar is a bit of a way. We probably have to plan a little bit for that.
But
Probably have to
guys,
get a wagon and some hay and blankets to keep them warm, too.
Yeah, that'll
Shadow's
you'll
got-
have to figure that out on your own. This is up to you, you know.
Shadow's going to turn over to the lady. How long is this offer good for if we deliver these eggs?
Like I said, you deliver these eggs before they hatch, and I'll cut you the deal on the griffins.
Well, I know, but what I mean is how long would the deal be good for? Could we leave, come back sometime later, and still purchase them at the same price?
Hey, as long as I'm in business, I've been raising these since I got out of the guard.
How long do these eggs have? Do we have some time to take a night at an inn and get prepared?
Hey, this clutch has about 2 weeks. So you could I believe it would take you probably about a week, 10 days to get to Mirabar at a hard pace. So you have several days before you must leave. So you guys leave to go find an inn?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So there's a couple different inns here. You guys look, and this place is definitely a miner's town, and it's built kind of uniquely into the walls of this crack, and different levels are kind of built above it, so that it's this weird like structure, right? And just as you guys decide to take upon this inn called the Vulgar Stew, you guys hear this noise coming from just a little farther down. You guys are almost at sea level, and at sea level it kind of opens up. There's a couple small gardens and some trees planted, and then these stone docks that go out, right? And you hear this horn coming from out over the water, and it's a little foggy, and so you guys look, and it takes a couple moments to see before you see this great ship that you know, it's a long ship, but it's quite a bit larger than what you guys would normally expect from a long ship, I guess. And the first thing you see coming out of the mist are like these two white dragon wings above it, and then you make out these horns as this ship rams into one of these docks down below, and you see several large figures jump out of this boat, and several more sound horns, and then people begin screaming, and chaos kind of erupts down below the docks, or down towards the docks. What do you guys do? There we go. There's a map. Let me get you guys some tokens on your thing.
Where at are we on We're in the middle of.
There we go. I got everyone. You guys see your tokens? Yay?
Yep. Yay.
Perfect. And so, like, all of this noise is down towards this southwesternmost dock here. Give me a second, and I will get some things on there. But you can imagine all this business, and it's a little hard to see exactly what's going on down there. But you guys can definitely tell there's chaos and screaming.
Should we get over there? Maybe we can help.
Yeah, I hope it's not another
Yeah.
giant
It's
attack.
kind of
Better do
our
that.
thing.
They love these giant attacks.
Yeah, hopefully it's not more giants.
Like, as you guys are making your way, you guys begin to cross this bridge, and that's what Miss Song's saying. And then you see, like, a boulder fly through the air and crash into this structure, and you realize this huge ship is only so big because that's exactly what it needs to carry is more giants. Let me make them visible.
Thanks for jinxing us, Miss Song.
So there's
Shit, here we go again.
some that are kind of wreaking havoc alongside the docks, several that are destroying structures, and have kind of made their way into various parts of this dockside structure. Why don't you guys go ahead and position yourselves like on or near the bridge? Each square is 5 feet. And then roll for initiative, and we'll pick it up kind of there. There are guards and people kind of running everywhere, so there's chaos. The giants are kind of in groups, while one group is engaged, there are guards working on some of the other groups, and so hope they have good rolls, guys.
All right.
Do any of them look like the Giants are winning? Any of the groups?
Oh, the giants are absolutely wrecking shit. Okay, Ander, you're the first one of your group to react. What do? You can make out these ones that are the closest to you, towards the southwest.
We haven't rested at all since the cats, right? Oh wait, no, we have because we've been with the.
You've had a short rest since the cats, yeah. So if you guys want to roll hit die real quick before this fight, I will let you do so. But it wasn't a long rest.
Okay. Okay.
So now you got to re-roll initiative because I had to hit the short rest to make that apply.
Oh.
So we all have to re-roll it.
Yep. I mean, I could force re-roll it for you guys, but I don't like taking your agency away.
Yeah, I rolled worse for initiative anyway, so whatever.
It sucks. It happens.
I rolled so much better.
Valra is the first to actually react. What do you do, Valra? Like, the images of Bryn Shander are flashing in your mind as you see these giants that have just piled out of this ship and, like, kind of just waded through the harbor, right? They didn't need to swim. They just walked.
I think for right now, I'm just going to ready my mace, and if a giant comes over here to attack, I will attack it.
Okay. If you want to act before the end of round 1, you can speak up and do so. 7.
We
Next.
took a short.
Yes, short. You're up next, Daphne. Not short. Tall Daphne.
Daphne, tall one, Daphne. I suppose. I summon my spirit animal, polar bear. I don't know. He's my spirit animal, but we've made good friends.
Okay, so you summon a polar bear. Now you need a polar bear token, huh? Do you have a polar bear sheet?
Nope.
No? Okay. Remind me at the end of the game and we'll set that up for you.
What are the three giants to the south doing? Like
Destroying
attacking
things and killing people, yeah. There you go. There's a
And
polar
then-
bear.
home? Sweet. And there's guards at all three?
Yeah, there's people trying to engage them, right? So if you're lucky, they might do good. If you're not, they might do bad. What
I'm
I'm
assuming
saying
I
is you
was
don't
with
need
the
to
group,
engage
right?
all three groups at the same time.
Okay. I will run up to the polar bear. I think. I can't. Okay, I move up there, and the polar bear parks at the end of the bridge, waiting for some direction to go.
Okay, Hunter, you're up next.
Frost giant. What?
You worry about Frost Giant 1 when you're within range and engaged with Frost Giant 1.
Okay.
Out of character.
No,
Based
just
on
fight.
past interactions
In character.
with the Griffin Keeper, would we be allowed? Would they welcome us engaging on the Griffins as like an Air Force, I suppose?
So, like, this thought pops into Hunter's mind, not solely by itself, but also because, like, as Hunter steps up, you guys all hear a screech in the air, and you see Dashara firing a crossbow down at one of these three giants that are south of you, on one of the griffins. Take that for what you will and do what you want with that. If that would answer your question to the best of your ability, Hunter.
Out of character, I want to do something dumb.
Just do it rather than talking. Let's go. Let's move through your turn.
Possibly be picked up by a griffin and dropped on a giant.
Well, you'll have to source one. You don't see any others for now. Come on, let's go.
Would
You can do this.
she- No, she probably wouldn't be able to hear me. Hunter's gonna try and yell at Shara. Pick me up and drop me
Okay.
on the giant.
Pick me up and drop me.
Sounds like a pickup line, Hunter.
Doesn't it? With all of
Quite
these
literally
giants.
a pickup line.
Okay,
That's terrible.
God.
quite literally.
Nice one.
All right. And then Hunter holds her turn, basically, then after shouting, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Ander, you're next to react.
Anders gonna move up, and that's about it for now.
Okay. Frost Giant 4 has a speed of 40 feet. Steps up and swings their great axe down upon this spirit animal. 2 times. The first time it passes through the ethereal shape of this polar bear, but the second time he seems to have corrected. It collides with this flesh, dealing 26 damage. Shadow, you're up. This giant is now at the head of this bridge. What do you do?
How far away are we from where the lady keeps her griffins?
That it would probably take, so it's quite a ways, but it would take you to go and get a griffin and come back. It would take you 3 rounds. On the 3rd round, you would be on a griffin and returning into battle, basically.
Even with all my fast movement?
Correct. That's you and Miss Song would be the ones who would be able to be that quick. Because tabaxis are broke.
I'm gonna go back for the griffin.
Okay, so you run kind of at speed up towards the city. And that brings us to Miss Song. Miss Song, you're next. What do you do?
Alright, let's see. I am... Let's see. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Bardic Inspiration on Hunter. I don't really have a cast for that, but Hunter now has a Bardic Inspiration dice, which is a D8. I'm not sure how to give that to Hunter.
I think they have to add that, maybe? Let's look at the spell.
Because, like, the spell doesn't have, like, a cast. It's just, like, in my racial... It's, like, filed under my racial traits, actually. It doesn't have any, like, casting stuff. It just has the description.
Okay. So basically, they can... Hunter can add that Bardic Inspiration to any attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. It looks
Correct.
like.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a D8, so...
And all of you guys also have Inspiration. Take that into account. Giant fights get deadly fast. Cool. So you play your hurdy-gurdy, and Hunter, you feel inspired. What else do you do, or do you do anything else, Miss Song?
Let's see. I'm going to... let's see, how many of these do I have? Okay, I'm gonna cast. How far are they? 1, 2, 3, 5. That's a radius. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna cast. Wait, is there a ruler in here? I can't remember if there's a ruler.
Not really, kind of.
Okay, because this thing has like 100-foot radius.
Oh, I can build a circle with a 100-foot radius.
Okay, I'm just trying to see where I can see to put that. So I'm going to cast plant growth on the ground somewhere by the giants, but I got to figure out how big. Holy shit. That's huge. Okay, maybe not. That is very large. Can I see that point from here? Let's see.
No.
Guess I'm on that edge of the... No, I can't.
There'd be
Okay,
buildings
I'm
in
not-
the way. I mean, you could, like, move it southward.
That's
Cast it
true.
into the water.
Well, that's true. If you scoot a little further down the coast there, to be see in my line of sight.
Like, something like
okay.
that would probably be reasonable.
Yeah, we'll do it there. So kind of down at the Yeah, okay, that works. We'll do it there. We'll cast plant growth. That doesn't have a cast either. It just happens.
Drop it into chat or read it out. Like when you're doing something like that doesn't have a cast, just let us know what it does or describe what it does, in a reasonable fashion as to what the spell says. Like narrate it out for us so we know what's going on.
Sure. So yeah, Missong plays his plant growth song, and since we're like along the water here, like all of the plants in this kind of little dock area here kind of lengthen and kind of vinily entwine out of the water all over the ground. So like there's all these kind of like aquatic plants like snaking all over the ground and entangling things, just kind of along this whole area. So yeah.
All right, and all right. So then is it difficult terrain for them, or are they entangled? How does it impact them?
Oh, sure. So a creature moving through the area has to spend 4 feet of movement for every foot that it moves.
Okay, so double difficult terrain, basically.
Double difficult terrain, yes.
All right, so this one frost giant, right? He's swinging his axe and just trying to like step through this house as these vines are all growing up and entangling him. He is able to move 10 feet up in this way, and then that brings us to Deshara. So Deshara, let's go ahead and see if she was able to hear. She definitely heard Hunter, and you see this, and her mount screeches quite loudly, and you guys hear answering screeches from above. This creature can move. So it has Screecher has an 80-foot fly speed. So it swoops down, grabs you, and then we'll have to move slower. But Deshara says to you, Hunter, where do you want? Like she kind of indicates, like trying to ask where you want to be dropped, like between these giants, or like in front of the polar bear.
On the closest threat.
Okay, so that'll place. So like she'll fly above, and that'll use their turn, and then she turns out to the harbor as Hunter is dropped on top of this giant that is swinging this great axe onto the polar bear.
And I would like to use my action now.
Okay.
I want to smash my war pick into his skull.
Okay, I'll give you advantage on that attack. As Deshard drops you, as Screecher lets you go, you're swinging this war pick in midair down onto this giant skull, hoping you land. So give me an attack roll and either an athletics or an acrobatics saving throw.
Either way, he's gonna get hit by 313 pounds of rock and wood. It's gonna hurt. I did not mean to put advantage on that.
I'll give it to you.
Hey, wouldn't that Bardic inspiration affect this?
She has to choose to use the dice.
Yeah.
I was gonna put that on the attack itself.
Oh, okay.
How do I do that?
Well, it's a D8, so just roll an extra D8, and that uses that inspiration dice.
Yeah, so basically you can call it out before or after you make the roll. And then oh, hold on. So this is the way it reads. So this will be a little weird in Fantasy Grounds. So it says the creature can wait until after it rolls the die for the ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, but before the DM says whether or not it succeeds or fails, before you choose to use the die. So what you would do, Hunter, is you would not target the giant, and then you would roll an attack, and then you can choose whether or not you use the bardic inspiration. So what say you?
Mm-hmm. Shit. I'm gonna guess that doesn't hit. I'll go ahead and take the bardic inspiration. Try and push it above.
Okay, roll a d8. Oh, so you hit, and then you feel it impact, and then you choose in that moment to use this magic that Missong has lingering about you, and that extra force is just enough to crunch into this helmet. Go ahead and roll damage. Nine damage as it takes a smack to the head. Okay, and then that brings us to the bottom of the order with number 9, who attempts to move. They can move 10 feet through this stuff, and they come around the corner. They pick up a rock and they go to throw it. I'll just roll a d6. There we go. They throw it in Anders' direction. Striking Ander. Ander, this boulder, it picks up, it throws through the air, it hits you directly in the chest, dealing 52 damage, and you guys see like Anders like legs sticking out from underneath this thing, and then there's like blood spatter on either side. And then that brings us to the top of the order. Is 12 in this group? No. Number 9 is, though, boulder thrower guy. Moves 10 feet and attempts to swing his great axe at Hunter.
While I'm on his friend.
While you're on his friend. Hope he doesn't roll a 1, right? First swing misses. Second swing misses. Miss Song, you're up. You just saw Ander get crushed by this boulder. What do you do?
Let's see. I am going to. Let's see what's the way to do this. Where is this here?
God damn, that boulder hit hard.
All right. I'm going to cast Healing Spirit, which summons a nature spirit to soothe the wounded. So this spirit appears in a space that's a 5-foot cube you can see within range. So I'm going to summon this, next to Ander here to try to, help. Oh, wait a minute. That's cast as a bonus action. So can I try to like push that off of him and then cast this? Would it be like a strength check? Okay.
Yeah. Give me a strength check. So Miss Song cries out, grabs this rock and tries in the moment and kind of gets it hefted a little bit off of him. It's still on like one of his arms, but you've got like the weight of it off of him, and then you play this tune for Healing Spirit.
Yeah, and so this shows I play this, and this looks like a transparent owl. And so this just kind of sits there with a 5-foot range and heals for 1d6 every turn. So
all right.
Think of it like a healing ward. So like it sits there and like puts out 1d6 of healing every turn.
So yeah,
Okay.
so Miss Song, you play on this hurdy-gurdy, and like this owl kind of begins to form as these notes take life, and it flies down and it lands on Anders' chest. So what you'll do is, if you're looking at that spell, you'll add that concentration one to yourself, and then the heal, the 1d6, you can drag onto Miss Song or onto Ander, either on the board or in the combat tracker, and it will heal him for the d6.
Okay, so wait, where is the concentration at?
Do you see? You can see the heal and the effect if you click on the magnifying glass to the right. The effect is what you add to yourself.
Oh, healing spirit C self. Okay.
Yeah, the C is the concentration check. So now if something attacks at you, it'll auto roll that concentration check and drop that spell if you don't need it.
Ander is way down there. There he is.
So in this owl, its talons kind of dig into the crushed chest of Ander, and some of the bones crunch and form into a shape a little more conducive to life.
Okay, so yeah, I'll leave that sitting there.
Okay. This giant has Hunter on its back. Hold on a second. 5e. We need to look. There's some interesting rules that around what you're trying to do right now. So for right now, it will attempt to batch you off, and I will say that's it'll be a contesting strength check against like a strength saving throw from you. So Hunter, give me a strength saving throw as it's like flailing around. Beat a 19. So Hunter, it bats you to the ground next to it, and it's your turn. What do you do? You just fell like probably a good 8 feet, landing on the ground with a solid thud.
I'm gonna get up and
so
swing at some ankles.
So as Hunter's swinging their warhammer, each of you guys see these screeching griffins that have responded to Screecher, the alpha griffin's call, and these creatures are flying down, towards you guys, if you guys are ready and or so inclined.
And I assume like whenever our next turn comes up would be when we whatever if we did anything.
It'd be a move action to mount the creature.
Okay.
And then they have like a flight speed and whatnot. Hunter, what do you do?
Well, I swung at the ankles, so I guess I should actually roll that.
Well, I did also was kind of narrating this other thing. So you hit, and this you can also choose to jump on one of these griffins as well after you damage this creature, this giant.
I will do so.
Okay.
I am like right next to this waterway, so.
All right, you can move it and do what have you with it. Next turn, Daphne, you're up. Same applies to you. There's griffins that are flying down from everywhere, kind of screeching and attacking other groups. There's a good dozen griffins that she had in her roost.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that there is one near my polar bear buddy, and I'm going to run over to him, kneel down. Well, he's pretty big, and like put my hand on his back and whisper a few things, and he will gain bark.
Okay. You should be able to apply that to his token or his creature. Is that an action or a bonus action?
That is an action.
Okay.
And then I'll, if there's a griffin nearby and I have the action economy left, I will hop.
You had to move up to this polar bear, so you can hop on next turn and use a part of their move speed. We'll get there when we get there. Shadow. One moves down, swoops down, and you're able to leap onto it. You can move up to 40 feet with it. On this turn. Next round, or when you guys have a full round on the Griffin, it has 80 feet fly speed.
Alright, I'm trying to figure out 40 feet here.
That'd be 8 squares. So these griffins, as you guys have been trained with them for several days, you guys are very familiar with the fact that they have claws and beaks that are very devastating, and you can use your action economy to attack with those. It's a +6 to hit, and it's 2d6 plus 4 damage on either of those, and they do a multi-attack.
Oh, can my polar bear go also?
Yep. You could do your polar bear after Shadow's turn here.
After Shadow.
Yep. Do you do anything besides move, Shadow?
I'm gonna try to shoot a bow at one of them. And they're pretty big, so.
Okay, let's take a look. What's the range on a bow? I think this might be the actual first time. Nope, you have range. You're good. Go ahead and fire. So you hit this giant that Hunter's engaged with. Go ahead and roll damage as your arrow strikes him through this patchwork armor, Shadow. Alright. Polar bear time to act.
Polar bear time.
So it has a multi-attack. It looks like it can do a bite and a claw.
Right, and it's +7 to hit, so does that mean a d20
Yes,
7?
d20 plus 7.
Cool. Polar bear will run up to the giant that Hunter is attacking and bite and claw.
Okay. That's a hit. Make sure when you roll the damage on that attack. So both of those hit. The first damage, though, was that with a bite or a claw?
That was the, I think it's
You got to tell me what
bite
order.
first,
Okay.
and then claw.
So roll 2d8 plus 5 for the damage on that crit.
Oh, nice. I didn't even see that. Thanks. (2d8 plus 5).
Yep. Roll another d8. Now roll the 2d6 plus 5 for the claws.
Is there a way to roll 2 of them?
Right click, like left click and hold, and then right click, and it'll pick up a second one.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Oh, that was a D8 square.
I wish this had a better advanced dice roller. There we go. Dealing quite a significant amount of damage here. This frost giant is looking a little bit bruised now.
Cool. Thank you.
Valra, you're up next. What do you do? You see Miss Song playing away. Hunter has mounted a griffin. Daphne is reaching towards one. The polar bear has attacked something. Ander is laying bruised and beaten. And you hear a screech behind you as well from another griffin. What do you do?
I'm going to run up to Ander and heal him some more.
Okay. How do you do that?
I'm
You've
going
got-
to do Cure Wounds.
Okay.
So do I just drag that on him on the combat tracker?
Yeah, the heal? Yes. And are you casting that at level 1 or a higher level?
I want to go higher. I've never done that on here. How do I do that?
So what you'll have to do is you'll have to manually roll the additional die here. But you can drag the first one onto him. What level are you casting it at? Second or third?
Let's go second.
Okay, so drag the cast onto him, and then you'll have to roll an additional d8 to add to him. We'll learn. We're getting there. We're getting there eventually here.
That's not working.
You're clicking the little heal symbol and dragging it onto his token or his thing in the combat tracker?
I'm trying.
It's the symbol, not the... I don't think... Well, you could even grab the D8 where it says just 1 D8 plus 2. You can click and drag that too. There you go. 8 heal points. And then go ahead and roll another D8 manually, and I'll add those to Ander as you guys are healing him up.
That's the third one from the right, right?
Correct. Okay, I added that for you, Ander, and then that brings us. Oh, and do you make towards one of these griffins as well, or do you hold fast on the bridge next to Ander?
No, I think I'll go for a griffin.
Okay, you can hop on your next turn. It's Frost Giant 10's turn as they bash through this house and this viney growth. They attempt to move northward another 10 feet. They really locked these guys down. Son of a bitch. That brings us to Ander is up next out of everyone. Ander, you're laying on this bridge. What do? There's a griffin flying towards you. It's the first thing you see, and then the second thing you see is Valra.
I will get up and get on the griffin.
Okay. You still, so it takes your move action to mount one of these things, but you can, because you still have a standard action, you could also move this griffin, I guess, up to 80 feet. Its move speed, basically, if you would like. And you just move your token to indicate where you're moving at with it.
And do I still have my attack action?
You wouldn't. Moving the griffin would be using that standard action.
I'll just mount the griffin and I don't want to move anywhere in particular right now, but just in like an invasive pattern.
Okay. I'll give you for like you using an evasive pattern, we'll do like a cover equivalent. When they attack at you, I'll add cover to your rolls if they attack you, if the dice so determine. Okay. So that brings us to Deshara. Deshara fires from the air their heavy crossbow at this giant, and they miss.
Oh, I can roll. It's when Andrew starts his turn that the thing heals. So hold on. There, forgot to do that.
Oh, nice. Ander, you are healed even more. That brings us to the top of the order. Shadow, you're up next. So you can move up to 80 feet while on the back of this griffin. What do you do?
I'm gonna start by moving up some more.
Okay. So you fire your short bow off. This strikes this giant in the back between the shoulder blades. Go ahead and roll damage. Dealing 18 damage to this giant. He's still looking like he could kill somebody, but a little less likely by the moment. The Miss Song, you're up next.
Okay. All right. So I am. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and cast. Let's see, this is a target to make sure I'm targeting these guys right. I'll stop targeting Hunter. Okay, I think I have that right. Yes. Oh wait, that range is only 30 feet, so I can only hit those two. Alright, so I am going to cast Bane on these two closest giants. So as I play this song, these creatures have to make charisma saving throws, and whenever they fail the saving throw, or whenever a target that fails the saving throw makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, which is it's also. Oh wait, can I have two concentration spells at once?
Nope, you'll drop the other one.
Okay, never mind. I don't want to do that then. I didn't realize that would cancel each other out. All right. In that case, we will go ahead and cast. Let's see, what's the range on this? 10-foot radius sphere. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cast Shatter in between those two giants then.
Okay.
So I guess
that's going to hit Hunter.
Now. Oh, wait, that will hit. God damn it. Okay, I'm not going to do that because she is... What would that do?
Go ahead.
Well, no, you're made of inorganic materials such as stone, and you have disadvantage on that, and that would hurt you more. So, not good times. Shit. I guess in that case, I'll go ahead and hop on the griffin that's here, and am I able to attack with that at the moment? Like if I flew towards Frost Giant 4 and attack with the griffin, would that be doable right now?
Getting on it is going to use your move action, mounting it. You could quick mount it with an acrobatics saving throw, maybe like DC 18.
All right, we'll try it.
I'm making this stuff up on the fly. It doesn't give me any details after. It just says they can learn to ride frickin' griffins. Thanks, wizards. So you attempt to jump. So yeah, you can still climb on it, but that uses your move action to attempt that.
Okay, but I still have a regular action.
Correct.
From where I'm sitting. Okay. Then in that case, I guess I'll just do Vicious Mockery on this closest one then. Let me untarget that dude. Vicious Mockery, cast.
It succeeds
Oh, darn.
your saving throw.
Well, that doesn't do anything then.
Davine Whispergrove, you're up next. What do? It's a griffin to your side. You mount the griffin?
I do mount that griffin, and then I
Yay.
I'm excited to ride the griffin. I'm assuming giants are bigger than large creatures.
They are huge.
As far as size category,
They're huge.
they're huge. Okay, thank you. Then I will hit Frost Giant 4 with my Thornwood.
Okay.
My damage is wrong.
So as you're casting this thorn whip, you guys see several giants on this great ship extend boards out and are rowing it backwards a little bit to unhook these tusks that have blasted through. This thorn whip flies through the air and misses giant number 4. Valra Greenleaf, you're up. What do?
And then Polar Bear after?
Sorry, Polar Bear, what do?
Polar Bear, charge! No, he's already there. He bites and claws.
The bite is a miss. The claw hits. Dealing 12 damage to number 4. 17. Alright. Now it's Valra's turn. Valra, you're up.
Okay, so I will climb up on the griffin. You said that uses up the movement?
Correct.
Okay, and then I'm going to cast Blindness Deafness on Frost Giant 4.
Oh, really? How does that work? This is a new spell for Valra.
No, I've used it before. You can blind or deafen a foe and choose one creature you can see. They have to make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, the target is either blinded or deafened for the duration, which is 1 minute. At the end of each of their turns, the target has to make a Constitution saving throw. On a success, the spell ends.
Okay. Well, click and drag that save over onto that giant and force that saving throw. It succeeds. As the power of your god is unfortunately not strong enough here. And that brings us then to Deshara is next. They fire their crossbow at giant number 4. Hitting. And this bolt strikes true, dealing 8 damage. Ander, you're now on this griffin, so you have a full 80 feet of movement. And then your standard action of yours or the griffin's.
All right. So let's see. I will I'm gonna fly at Frost Giant. And 4 is wounded, correct?
Yes, 4 is the one that people have been working on. He's bleeding pretty heavily.
Okay, so let's see. I gotta apply my Colossus Slayer thing here then. How do I apply that again?
So if you click on the magnifying glass to the right of where it says Colossus Slayer, there's an effect there. And if you click and drag that little effect button onto yourself, it'll apply it. Or it looks like you can click and drag the words onto either your token or your name in the combat tracker. There you go.
Oh, dang it. I didn't get more arrows. Okay, so given that we've been trained to use these griffins, can I use an inspiration point to fly at this giant, have the griffin attack it, jump off of said griffin, and pull a hunter on the griffin?
You know, on the giant, not on the griffin.
Okay.
Pull a hunter on the giant.
Yes, but you'll have to give me an acrobatics saving throw, just like Hunter did, as you dismount. So you can get the griffin in, and it can make a bite attack, so give me a d20 plus 6 for that.
Okay, how do I do a d20 plus 6?
Down in the bottom left, there's a little box that says modifier. It should have a 0 in it. Click in that, and then you can push the 6 key on your keyboard, and then you can click and drag a d20 into chat, and it'll roll it and add the modifier that you put in there. So that hits, so go ahead and roll 1d8 plus 4 for damage, and then give me an acrobatics or athletics saving throw. Actually, that's either one. Number 4 takes another 7 damage. So you hit this giant. You're not able to get purchase, so you slide down to the ground and you land like next to Hunter, who's like mounting this griffin. And that brings us to the next one up is number 10, who, with a bashes out of these vines, and this building is just completely demolished and steps into the street. Daphne, you see as it turns towards you with a roar, and it grabs a bunch of debris and hefts it as if to throw it down the direction of the bridge this turn. Hunter, you're up next. You're on this griffin now, so you can move away if you'd like. This giant's probably going to try and swing at you if you do, but you are on this griffin. What do you do?
We can move, attack, move.
Yeah.
Can we? I have also forgotten I have multi-attack myself. Could I multi-attack with Griffin? Multi-attack myself?
No.
No? Okay.
No, but you can't. That's just a hard no there. I hate giving you a hard no, but that one, unfortunately, you're choosing to do the Griffin attack or your self attack.
That's fine. Gonna take off straight up so I can multi-attack at the giant's head and try and fly off.
Okay? Are you swinging your war pick, or is the bird attacking the griffin?
Herb.
Okay. It's a d20 plus 6 to attack both the beak and the claws. It does a beak first and then the claw second. Go ahead and roll.
I yeeted my dice too hard.
So that hits. The first one hits. Go ahead and roll the second attack too.
Same roll?
Yep. That one misses. So the damage you do is a 1d8 plus 4. If you guys do end up purchasing your own, I'll have to make a character sheet that I can make public to you guys. 9 damage. Frost Giant 4 takes. It's looking pretty beat up by now. There's blood running down its back and its chest in several places. 3. Okay. Now, and then you said you want to move away afterwards, Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to attempt to swing at you when you do that. I will roll a d4. Odds, it swings at your griffin. Evens, it swings at you. So it swings Hunter. And it misses. How is your AC above a 25? Jesus. Okay. And then that brings us to number 4. Number 4 has Ander, Polar Bear, and Hunter is moved out of its range. So odds are Polar Bear, evens are Ander. It turns, it swings its great axe at Ander. Once hitting him, dealing 23 damage. It swings it down the second time with a roar and bloodlust in its eyes, dealing an additional 24 damage. And you guys see Ander fall to the ground.
God damn it.
It is not... No. Giant number 9, seeing Anders fall to the ground, picks up a rock and attempts to throw it at Deshara. Missing, it flies far over the river. And that brings us to Hunter. Hunter, you're up. What do you do?
Out of character, can I, on the Griffin, swoop back down, pick up Ander, and fly him to safety?
You would incur an attack of opportunity upon one of the 3 of you, which would be determined by a dice roll.
Ooh.
Hopefully the giant doesn't like attacking corpses?
No, I'm telling you guys ahead of time that that would be one of the three of you. The Griffin, Anders'
No, I
unconsciousness,
get
or...
that, but if we leave Ender there, maybe he'll be
Oh, I see what you're
okay.
saying. Okay, I was just wanted to make sure I was clear on what would happen if that plan of action...
He could bleed out. Even if I did compel duel or something.
What's compelled duel?
It's a bonus. It's cast as a bonus action, range of 30 feet, concentration up to a minute. I attempt to compel a creature into a duel. One creature that I can see within range must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to me, compelled by my divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than me, and must make a Wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move to a space that is more than 30 feet away from me.
Okay, so you could do that. I would say that you would need to kind of state your whole plan of action, and it would all go off at once. So if you want to do a compelled duel and then grab Ander and fly away, then do a compelled duel. We'll see if it passes or saves, and then if it succeeds, it will attack you. If it doesn't, we roll a die to determine what it attacks when you move away. Sound fair?
Okay. It doesn't look like I do. Oh, I do. Okay. I just do cast.
Now, I know Anders unconscious, but I think you might want... I think it would probably be appropriate to make sure that the player is all right with that plan of action as well. Because honestly, so the way this would happen is if you cast that, that goes off, you grab Ander, lift up. I roll a d4. A 1 is a reroll. A 2 attacks Hunter. A 3 attacks the Griffin. And a 4 would attack Ander. A hit on Ander could kill him, being unconscious.
Go for it.
If you can get Andrew to me, I can stabilize him.
I can pull him with my thorn whip, possibly.
Might
Maybe
cause
that
harm.
wouldn't cause. Well, I don't think it would cause enough harm to kill him. Well, how much damage has to kill him unconscious? 2d6? Would 2d6 potentially kill him?
I would think so.
I think that
It has to
on
be, like,
the...
his total
Like,
hit
I think in the
points, right?
rain on the bridge with this polar bear and these giants, you would probably struggle to summarize up what he would live or die through via numbers.
So, I'm not entirely sure what I need to cast. Do I need to do the effects?
So
Cast
do...
button?
Okay. This is compelled duel. So you would drag the... First, just drag the save onto the token of the giant, and we'll see if the spell works. Okay, it succeeds against your save.
Ooh.
So this griffin swoops down as Hunter whispers a prayer to their deity, and then grabs a hold of Ander and flies away. What did I say for the numbers?
One is reroll.
One is reroll. Hey. What do you know? I don't think I've done this before on this game, but I did enact currency on the Twitch. So, you get a bonus action Hunter on this. So, here's what I can do is I can re-roll this targeting die if it has dire consequences one time. Or you can use a second action some way that you make up right now. That's not a real roll. because I had the whole of the die and dropped it before you were talking. What do you say? Ooh, it's rolling a lot of 2s. I don't even know what a 2 was. 2 was Hunter.
Two is
Two is the griffin.
Oh.
No,
Oh no,
three
2
was-
No, it was Hunter.
3 is
Three
the
was
griffin.
the
It was me.
griffin.
Looks like it's avoiding. How do you use your bonus action, Hunter? You can use these as like a heroic hero point, I guess is another way to describe them too in 5e. It could be an epic moment, I suppose. We could use this to exclude Ander entirely from that roll and have it just be an odds-even roll if you'd like.
I would like to exclude Ander.
That might be a good way to use that. Maybe I'll rename that currency from Action Surge to just Hero Point and let you guys do an epic thing. So this giant swings, right? And you guys see Hunter like kind of tilt to the side unexpectedly, and this griffin wobbles off course as Ander swings outward over the harbor. Odds are Hunter, evens are the other thing. So this giant swings at Hunter. Please, oh God, let it hit Hunter for once. And it misses. Jesus. Automatic miss. Okay. So you pick Hunter up and you're able to move like 40 feet in a direction away from these. In Daphne, you're up. What do you do?
Do we still have people in range of the giants, or just the polar?
Polar bear, and the Dashara's like flying above them.
But nobody on the ground. other than
Correct.
polar bear.
They just got out by the skin of their teeth.
I don't know. I'm conjure animals. So this is like a fey spirit polar bear that I summon.
Okay.
They obey verbal commands. Oh, no action required. Okay, that answers my question. So I want to tell him to come, basically come to me, and then hold my action until after he does.
Okay. So is he like moving out onto the bridge then?
Yeah. Retreat. Polar bear.
Okay, so that giant will swing at it as it moves out of its like reach onto the bridge.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
You moved the die just in time. It dropped on a 22. You're lucky. It swings and hits this polar bear as it's moving away. And this polar bear dissipates at this command.
That's okay. It wasn't gonna do much anyways. Alright, so then my action triggers.
Yep.
I'll see you soon, polar bear. Alright, I cast Erupting Earth at a point in between those two giants.
Okay.
It doesn't let me drag the spell into chat.
What's it do? Just read it out to us.
Okay. Level 3 transmutation, instantaneous. Point you can see on the ground within range. Fountain of churned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube centered on that point. Each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much on successful. Additionally, the ground in that area becomes difficult terrain until cleared. Each 5-foot square requires at least 1 minute to clear by hand.
Okay. I layered this square on them where this earth begins erupting. Go ahead and drag that dexterity save throw onto each of them, or do your cast.
Make sure. Sorry about that.
Okay.
that do
Number
for both of them?
4. Nope, you only had one targeted. So target or do it on number 9 as well. But number 4 failed. So number 4 takes that bludgeoning damage, the 3d12.
Where's my targeting? It's not working already. It's 4 and 9.
Correct.
Do I have 9 targeted now?
Correct. Okay. They both failed, so drag the damage on... Now target 4 as well as 9 and do the damage. And it'll damage them both.
For some reason, I can only do that in the combat tracker.
Weird. Alright, each of them take 29 damage. Number 4 is not looking good at all, guys. Miss Song, you're up. The earth has just erupted beneath these guys. You're on a griffin. What are you doing? You've got this thing. Oh, that happens on Anders' turn. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that happens on Anders' turn. So I'll go ahead and attack with the Griffin, do his multi-attack on Frost Giant 4, and swoop down and go.
Okay.
Yeah. That was what, D plus 6, right?
Yep, plus 6.
Okay, so... Wait, that's not how you do that. That's how you do it in Roll20. How do I type in a command to roll like that in this? Or do I have to just manually roll a 20 and then add 6?
It's /die.
Oh, /die. There we go.
So the beak hits.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Die 1d20 plus 6.
The claws miss. It's a d8 plus 4 damage.
Oh shit, I wasn't targeting. Well, I don't know.
You're not on
That's
manual.
the
I got it added.
That's the 4.
Yep. Okay, so this one looks almost dead, but it's still got a little bit of life left in it. Go ahead and heal Ander on his turn. Does that happen at the beginning or end of his turn?
Beginning.
Okay. Ander,
Drag that.
you become conscious at the beginning of your turn as this creature heals you. What do you do?
Wait, shit. That's not right. Don't heal the Frost Giant and realize that was still targeting. Okay, don't target the Frost Giant. Target Ander. Healing Spirit.
There you go. You heal by 2 hit points, so you're awake, but barely, Ander.
For a second time. Jesus.
Ender's gonna say, if any of you guys have arrows, go for the eyes. Whatever than that, Anders just gonna lay there.
Okay, that brings us to Shadow is next up.
Alright, so the share is still within that 5-foot range, right? I mean, it looks like it.
Well, the sheriff's like above and been shooting with her crossbow. Like circling above them.
I'm going after number 4 anyway, never mind. Alright, I'm gonna shoot my bow at number 4.
So Deshare's like 40 feet above them, shooting down on them, basically. It's just difficult to represent 3 dimensions.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna shoot my arrow over at Frost.
Okay. That misses, unfortunately.
That's all I'm gonna do.
Number Frost Giant number 10 picks up this debris that they were hefting and throws it down the bridge. One is, we'll just basically do it in order of closeness to him. So Daphne is 1, Hunter's 2, Anders 3, Missong's 4, Valra is 5, and a 6 is a reroll. So Missong, this debris comes flying in your direction. And it strikes you, hitting you for 22 damage. However, you maintain concentration on whatever spell. Oh, on the Healing Spirit. Number 4 steps up, and with a roar and a laugh, swings his great axe down upon Daphne 2 times.
Oh, gross.
Not pretty.
Fuck giants.
The
Jesus.
first one striking Daphne and dropping her down. That brings us to... Next one up is Deshara. Fires her crossbow at number 4. Can she do it? She hits. And this giant takes a crossbow bolt in the eye and falls down to the ground next to Daphne. That's kind of sucky that an NPC killed a critter. Valra, you're up. I just like when you guys kill them rather than an NPC, you know.
I will accept it.
I'm going to use Channel Divinity to heal Daphne and Ander.
Okay. Hold on before you cast that. What does it do? Equal to... Oh, it's just a raw heal, huh? So,
Yeah.
5 times your cleric level. So you need to increase that to... Here, I'll fix that heal for you real quick. Weird.
It's not letting me untarget the Frost Giant.
Okay, 1 sec. Okay, I fixed that. Hey, Marb, thank you so much for the cheer. We are deep in a frost giant fight. There you go. I untargeted it for you.
Thank you.
Oh boy, you do, cheerleader. 1K bits. Ooh, nice. Proud to be there for you,
Okay.
and let you
hold on,
earn
so
that
let me target
badge.
them on the map. So let me
Might,
find them on the combat tracker.
here, I can move some of these other giants off of the combat tracker for now. Well, that didn't really work, but whatever.
Okay, so since I have them targeted, do I still have to drag it, or can I just double click?
You can just double click it and it should heal them both. 36 hit points to both Daphne and Ander as this prayer heals you. Hunter, you're up next. Just having dropped Ander on the bridge. What do you do? Back this griffin. 2 more of these giants seem concerned with you guys right now.
I don't like that threat at all.
Yeah, considering we're fucking nearly dying to 2 of these guys coming after us, and there's like 9 of them.
So in this time, 3 more have fallen. The ones on the docks have been pushed back, and it seems like the ship has now disengaged from the one that it has crashed into. That one's sinking, and they're sounding some horns as well.
Oh, that's good at least. Jesus fuck.
But their ship is okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well then that's not so good.
They don't have the ability to set fire to a ship.
Hey, yay.
I'm not the bird anymore.
You are not the Burb anymore, unfortunately. You are a paladin. So what does the paladin do? Let's see if we can get them to wrap this fight up, dude. There's some weird barking noises on Sirenscape. I gotta say. Like, sometimes... And I applaud, like... I'm not saying anything negative about how great you're doing, Grizz, because you're doing phenomenal. Keep it up. But sometimes Sirenscape just throws some oddballs out there on the tail end of things, and it's just weird.
No, I actually quit everything I was doing and clicked something random on accident. I'm sorry. I'll get back into where we were.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's good for a laugh. We need a laugh.
How do we know there's not, like, dogs?
There could be blink dogs running around. You never know.
It's a town. There's a good chance that there's dogs.
Anyway, top of round 5. Hunter. With a screech of a griffin, what do you do?
I have forgotten what this cube effect is.
Difficult terrain, erupting earth.
So difficult terrain on top of difficult terrain.
Yes, it's like septuple difficult terrain, 5 times difficult terrain right now.
Yeah, nobody's moving in there. They're just...
Well, I'm gonna ignore that giant then. And... zoom up to Frost Giant number 10. And try to use the griffin to attack its face and eyes.
Okay, roll me the 2 d20s plus 6. If you crit on the eyes, I will let you damage their eyesight. So that 20 hits. Go ahead and roll the other attack. That 21 hits. So your first one is a d8 plus 4. Your second one is 2d6 plus 4. As this bird tears into giant number 10.
You said second one's 2d8?
It's 2d6 plus 4. Dealing 26 damage as it roars. Shadow, you're up next. What do you do?
Well, I am going to attack with my griffin on Frost Giant number 9.
So Shadow flies in with his griffin and it attacks melee combat with this giant. Uh, 16 hits. Number 9, love potion number 9. Doo-doo-doo. This one's already a little bloody. As you make it... that one doesn't hit. So go ahead and roll the 1d8 plus 4 there, Shadow. For this beak tearing into this frost giant. All right. That brings us to Valra. You're up next. What do you do? Daphne and Ander seem to be pretty well healed from this channel divinity. Hunter and Shadow are engaged in air to ground combat. What does Valra do?
I think I will cast Guiding Bolts at the giant that Hunter is engaged with.
Okay.
Why is this thing not letting me target people?
There, I cleared your targets.
Thank you.
So this bolt of light fires out from Valra's hand. Does it strike this giant true? It does, most definitely. Nice critical hit. In a very critical moment. Roll that damage. Dealing 30 damage to this giant. Now make sure you also add that effect to the giant, so that the next person who attacks it gets advantage. So next up is Deshara, who attempts to fire their crossbow at Frost Giant number 9, striking true and dealing 8 damage to them. Frost Giant number 10 hefts their great axe to swing at Hunter or their bird. Odds will be Hunter, evens will be the burb. Swings at the burb. Dealing a 12. So that hits. This griffin takes a hit for... Ooh, not that damage. There we go. For 18. And then it swings again. Striking this bird, griffin mount, a second time for 31. So this griffin is beheaded, and you begin to fall to the ground. Remind me on Hunter to roll for like 10 feet of fall damage on your next turn. Ander, you are up. You're conscious, and you have a significant amount of hit points. You're feeling quite a lot better. What do you do?
Let's see, I'm still on the bridge.
Yes. But you're alive this time.
Is there a griffin I can mount?
Yep, it'll use your move action.
Alright, I'll mount the griffin.
And then you could use your standard action to move the griffin if you want. Or if you had arrows, you could fire them off or whatever. I don't think you do, though.
I'm out of arrows, so
I have a
I'm
question.
going to...
Wait, Ander, before you do that. Ander, wait. I have inspiration and I have arrows. Can I use my inspiration to hand him my arrows? I'm not going to be using them.
Okay, sure.
Alright, here's 20 arrows, Ander.
Now you have arrows, Ander. So you can fire away.
All right, awesome. So let's see. So I'm around the bridge area. I can move with the griffin, but I can't attack, right?
Yeah, or you could, if you don't move the griffin, you still have your standard action. So you could fire an arrow at either of these giants right now if you don't move. But you could also move. You just wouldn't be able to attack this round if you choose to move.
Am I even within range to hit one of them?
Yeah, bows have an 80-foot range.
All right. I will shoot an arrow at Frost Giant 9.
Okay. So Shadow, you hear this arrow whiz underneath your mount. A 9 misses, unfortunately. It clacks to the ground. That brings us to Miss Song. You're up. What do you do? Don't forget to heal Ander on his turn, by the way. You forgot that.
Shit.
You've held that concentration. You've earned it. Heal him.
Let's see, am I targeting? No, I'm not targeting him. Don't stop targeting that and target Ander. Yeah. There we go. Not that one. That's psychic damage. Where is it at? There it is.
There you go. Ander is almost completely healed.
So that has like a 5-foot radius. Like, am I close enough to him to be also in that radius?
Yes.
Sweet. Stop targeting Ander. Target myself. Okay. So that happens. And then... let's see. Okay, I can't do that. That's touch. Yeah, I'll do vicious mockery at the one over by Hunter. So we'll target you. Wait, why did I?
You have your... You cast that on
Oh,
yourself.
I'm also targeting myself. Okay, so Frost Giant failed, but I succeeded.
Yes.
Hooray! I didn't insult myself.
It's always good in battle.
Well, the Frost Giant got insulted, so...
Bad.
Alright, so the Frost Giant takes 8
And-
damage.
It is disadvantaged.
Nice. Disadvantage on its next attack. That brings us up to Daphne. You're up next. What do you do? You're conscious and alive too now.
Hey, I am. Alright, so I will do. Can I?
Can you what?
Well, this bridge is death. I need to get off this bridge. Run to a griffin, and I will move the griffin over the river.
Frost Giant number 9 has Shadow's Griffin in melee combat. Odds will be Shadow, evens will be Shadow's Griffin as it swings its axe in rage. It attacks at this Griffin twice.
So my candy dodge won't work, will it?
I'll give you your uncanny dodge on one of those attacks. Extend some of that Thieves class stuff to this Griffin. I would have assumed you worked with it a little bit. So you dodge one of the attacks. However, the Griffin does take 31 damage. Is that enough to kill a griffin? Actually, Hunter? I don't know if that was enough to kill the griffin last time. 31 is not enough to kill a griffin. And it looks like your griffin is still alive too, so I got that HP wrong. Sorry about that. That brings us to the top of round 6. Daphne, you're on the back of a griffin. What do you do?
Now I am safe enough, I hope, to cast Ice Shard.
Okay.
Or Ice Knife.
Ooh, Ice Knife is interesting. Alright, go ahead and cast away.
Do I cast the attack or the save?
The attack first.
Woohoo!
So it hits. So now you do the damage, and then this shard of ice explodes. And then you do the save. So you roll the 1d10 damage on him. And they take 10 damage. Now you do the save. And it succeeds. So it doesn't take the 2d6 cold. Yeah, it's a nifty little spell. That's pretty cool. So it takes 10 damage. It's looking kind of beat up by now, but still got a bit of fight left in it. Miss Song, what do? You're up next as these giants are sieging Fireshear.
Alright, let's see. I will... I'll go ahead and do Vicious Mockery on the other giant, too.
Alright. And he succeeds. Shadow is up next. You have a wounded...
hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on. Gotta target myself.
Oh, you gotta do your healing? Okay. You can do that while we're moving through other turns. That'll be cool. Shadow, you're up next. What do? Your griffin is a little beat up, but still has about half its life left.
He's gonna swoop back in for an attack because he's not happy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll those 2d20s plus 6. Well, the d20 plus 6 times 2. First one misses, so let's see if those claws hit. It swoops in, it bites, the giant dodges out of the way. A 14 does not hit. It dodges out of the way of the claws as well. Okay. Dashara attacks with their crossbow, striking this giant, dealing 4 damage. Ander, you're up next. Aback this griffin. Bow and arrow in hand. So the arrow fires off, but unfortunately it misses as Frost Giant number 10 now attempts to strike at either Hunter or the Griffin. Odds are Hunter, evens are the Griffin. It swings at Hunter 2 times. Misses. And then the second time swings and misses. Frost Giant number 9. Same. Odds are Shadow, evens are Shadow's Griffin. The Griffin... Thanks so much, Baboonski.
Is it uncanny dodge again?
You can if it hits. It misses. Well, it hits that second time, but the... Oh, no, it hit both times. Jesus. Even poor rolls. Yeah, you can use Uncanny Dodge on 1. It will take this damage. 31. One more hit, and that Griffin is dead. Same for Hunters. Hunter, you're up. What do you do?
Can I heal my griffin?
Yep. I haven't really been tracking hit points, so heal your griffin. Depending upon how much you heal it, it can either take 1 or 2 more hits. Hey, thank you so much, Lurk Love. I love it. I don't mind you sitting, hanging out, just listening. It's great. I mean, this is definitely something you could just sit and not really even have to see. So, lurk away, my ape friend. I don't. I got somebody working on my emotes right now. And then as soon as they get them done, then I'll get them uploaded. This person whose turn it is actually working on my emotes. So how do you heal? What do you use to heal your griffin? These guys are riding griffins, fighting off giants.
Use lay on hands.
How many of the hit points do you use? If you use half of them, it'll be able to take 1 more hit. If you use all of them, it'll heal it up.
I will use half.
Okay. All right. That then brings us down to Valra Greenleaf on the bridge. What do you do?
I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on Frost Giant 9.
Frost Giant 9 looking pretty good off right now. This bolt of light flies in its direction. Missing. Well, hold on. Yeah, missing. You had Hunter targeted too. That's okay. The shot did go off at the giant and it missed, sadly. So the streak of light flies past it, hits the building behind it, and explodes, and the building is kind of glowing. Top of round 7. Miss Song, you're up. What do you do?
All right. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and try. See, hold on, let me double check on the reading about this. Let's see. Yeah, okay, we'll do it on the vicious mockery on this dude again. Try to disadvantage.
Okay, it failed.
Oh, it failed. Oh, I was still targeting myself. God damn it.
No worries.
But I succeeded, so it's okay. I didn't insult myself.
There you go.
No worries.
Yep.
I'm used to beating myself up, but it's okay.
Yeah, you're pretty self-critical.
Alright, so... Oh, wait. Shit. That wasn't supposed to damage myself. I thought I'd control-click myself off.
No, you apparently didn't.
Stop
There.
targeting me.
I
There we
cleared
go.
your targets for you. You can fix that damage to yourself.
Okay.
It was 7 that you need to heal yourself for. Dashara attacks at giant number 9 with their crossbow. Striking for 7 damage. Screecher. He's gonna screech. Ah! Sounds like someone kind of yelling. Delphine, you're up next. Aboard the Griffin. What do you do?
What's the griffin's move speed?
80. Flight.
I can probably make it here.
Sure. I don't know where that is. I haven't seen your token update yet, but
Oh,
sure.
you can't see it.
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay. I fly over there and ice spike again.
Okay. Ice knife at giant number 9.
There we go.
This ice knife hits this giant, so go ahead and roll that first damage, then the save. They take 9 damage. They fail the save, so go ahead and roll that cold damage as well. That 2d6 cold as they take this damage. It doesn't seem to harm them as much as you, or at all, really. He laughs as the ice doesn't pierce his skin. Ander, you're up next. What do you do?
I'm gonna shoot another arrow at giant number 9.
This arrow flies off in giant number 9's direction. Unfortunately, it pings off of his patchwork armor. Valra, you're up.
Just wasting those arrows I gave you. I'm going to move a little closer to 9 and then cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay. Spiritual weapon, that's a bonus action. So you swing this weapon at this frost giant, it hits. Go ahead and roll damage on that spell. Dealing 7 force damage to frost giant number 9. Hunter, you're up next, standing in front of frost giant number 10 as it prepares to take another swing at either you or your griffin. What do you do?
I'm sorry, can I interrupt really
Yeah.
quick? Am I supposed to put this effect on me for the spiritual weapon? It says self after.
Yeah, that just tracks that you have it on yourself.
I kind of want the griffin to drop me again.
Okay. Give me that acrobatics saving throw. What is that, a 15? I think we said it was 15, I don't know. So you don't make it. You fall to the ground. Taking 1 bludgeoning damage. Hunter.
As 1 point of damage.
Shadow, you're up next. What do you do? Oh no, sorry. Frost Giant number 9 acts before you. Shadow. Odds are Shadow, evens are Shadow's Griffin, which can't take another hit. It swings at Shadow 2 times. Missing the first one. That second one, Shadow, strikes you. You take this great axe straight to the chest for 29 damage. And now it's your turn.
Well. So if I pull away, it would get an opportunity to attack, huh?
Normally it would. You're a rogue, however. If you look at your abilities tab, you have a thing called Cunning Action. Cunning Action allows you to use your bonus action to either dash, disengage, or hide. So you could use your bonus action to disengage and then move away without incurring that attack of opportunity.
And then I can still attack after that?
Correct.
I'm going to use my cunning action then.
Okay.
Then I am going to sneak attack on Frost Giant 10 with my bow.
All right. That hits. Dealing 20. Oh, no, that's not 23 damage. That is 23 to hit. Dealing 22, and close enough, 22 damage. Frost Giant number 10 is not looking so great. However, they are looking great enough to swing their great axe twice at Hunter. Missing both times. That puts us to the top of round 8. Number 4 is not there. So Miss Song, you're up.
All right.
Another horn sounds, and you see one of the giants from like the western group like disengage and begin moving southward.
Okay, so we got that. Let's see. Man, I wish I had some better ranged things. Let's see. That weren't spells. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep doing vicious mockery and keep these things missing. Let's not target myself. Frost Giant 9.
Frost Giant 9 succeeds. Valra, you're up. This vicious mockery does not seem to have mocked Frost Giant number 9. What can you do?
Can I kind of like fly by with the griffin and like hit the giant in the face with my mace? Or attempt to anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only time you would have a problem is if you go to move away from it, then it can attack you because you're in melee, but you can definitely fly in and swing your mace at it.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay? So Valra flies in. Now you do also have that spiritual weapon, by the way, going.
Oh, can I do that again?
Well, that's like, so that lasts, right? And then as the bonus action on your turn, you can make a cast. So you can swing your mace at the giant, and then you can attack with the spiritual weapon as a bonus action.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. So I'll do the mace first.
Okay. Valra swings her mace shining with the light of her deity down upon this giant's skull, striking it. Dealing 7 damage, and then you can go ahead and attack with that spiritual weapon as well.
Do I hit the attack or the cast?
The attack. And now you roll the damage. As this spiritual weapon nails this thing, one of the horns shears off of its helm. And it deals 16 damage. Frost Giant number 9, not looking so hot. But Frost Giant number 10 is looking pretty great as it swings at Hunter 2 more times. Missing both times. Deshara fires their crossbow at Giant number 9. Striking. Dealing 2 damage. And Hunter, you're up.
I want to do Sacred Weapon.
Okay.
Takes an action.
And you add your charisma modifiers to attack rolls made with that weapon. So you add an additional +2 to that weapon. To attack rolls on starting on your next turn. Okay, cool. Number 9. Odds will be Valra, evens will be Valra's steed. Valra, this frost giant swings at you 2 times. Hitting you once, and then a second time.
Oy.
Valra, that first hit deals 27 damage, and then you guys see Valra fall limply as she takes 35 damage and is hanging in this saddle as this griffin attempts to steer her away. Shadow, you're up next. Can you maybe eliminate this threat before it decides to take that attack roll at Valra?
I am going to use my sneak attack and shoot a bow at it. Shoot an arrow at it, not a bow.
That
And I'm
bow misses. Daphne,
Ugh.
you're up.
I am going to fly back over here and man, I hope this one will be effective.
You have an inspiration die.
Yes, you're right. I do have an inspiration die, so that gives me advantage.
Yep. What are you doing?
I'm ice knifing.
Okay, that'll give you advantage.
Ah.
I'll give you advantage on both the save and the so this 18 hits. So roll the damage and then do advantage again when you force that save. You don't need to, as this knife strikes this giant in the eye socket and explodes like a watermelon. Its head flies apart. And this horn sounds again. And some of these giants continue moving towards this ship now even faster. Ander, you're up. 1 giant remains.
With just one?
Correct.
There's 4 on the board.
1 giant remains in combat with you. These others I've narrated are falling back to the ship.
Okay, so that's 10.
Correct.
I'll fly over by 10 and shoot an arrow at him.
Okay. So this arrow flies, strikes him dead in the eye. Roll that damage. I will give him disadvantage on attacks going forth. 16. This thing is almost dead. Like, it is screaming in pain from this impact from Ander's arrow. And it, like, reaches up and snaps it off and then roars in fury as we hit the top of round 9. Hunter, you're up. You swing, you hit, and second attack could be enough to kill it if you roll good.
Oh shit! I forgot to add the +2.
To your well, and it hit anyway, so. So this war pick is glowing. You swing it a second time, Hunter?
Yep.
And it swings forth. Does it strike true? It does. And it shatters this giant's knee and it falls to the ground with a bit of this arrow that's still sticking in its eye socket driven into its brain. And it dies.
Nice.
As it hits the ground, the rest of these giants appear to have jumped on this long ship, and it is rowing away. The corpses of the 3 giants that you guys killed, each of these giants carries a giant's bag with them. So I'll drop these items in the party sheet that you guys find in these bags, these corpses, next to these corpses of these giants. The first one contains a bag of salt, a comb that appears to be made out of bone, and a bucket and a rope that looks to have been stolen from a well. You find a shabby cloak in another bag. And in the third bag, you find... this one is pretty hard to lift, as it has 2 ropes and anchors, a pair of giant-sized sandals, and a humanoid skull that appears to have been used as a bowl. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back, but we've been going for 3 hours. I got a bio, so I'll be back here momentarily. Alright guys, this is where we are going to stop for the session. Thank you everybody so much for coming. Let's go ahead and find somebody to give a raid to here. I think right here's a great place to stop for the session as well. Actually. Let's show some love to our good buddy Catalyst here and give him a raid.